Hi, my name is Joe Breza. I want to talk about how to deal with loss in competition and primarily talking about grappling because this is what I know best. I'm a professor of neuroscience and psychology. I study how we perceive the world through sensory experiences. And so if you're new to this channel and you like this content, please like it and subscribe because then you'll get the content as I put it out. So I began wrestling when I was 11 years old. I wrestled through college and beyond. I did some judo. And in the last few years, I started doing Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. So I'm no stranger to competition. I was a very intense competitor, and I understand what it feels like to win. I understand what it feels like to lose. So let's start with the perception and the emotional experience of winning. So when you win, you feel great. You look at any post-match interview and the winner always talks about the things that they did to make this dream come true, how happy they are, how thankful, grateful. They go through the list of people they want to thank and everything. Okay. And everything that they did was worth it because now look, they're a winner. And now let's take the perception of the person who's lost. It's the opposite. Okay. They're down. Nothing makes sense to them. I don't know how this happened. They feel terrible and they feel like they don't belong there. They're doubtful of all the things that they did to prepare for competition. And maybe they even go so far as to call themselves a loser. So we take ourselves very seriously. All right. That can be a strength and it can also be a weakness. Okay. Well, you obviously want to be motivated to do the best thing that you can in competition or in a lot of things in life. But when things don't work out for you, you should learn how to deal with this in a healthy way. Okay. And I wish I knew more about how to deal with things in a healthy way when I was a young person in competition, but I'm hoping that I can share some of my experience to help you to deal with it maybe in a little bit better. Okay. It's all about perspective, I believe. So wrestling is a very competitive sport. Okay. You have to constantly fight for your spot on the team. And every week there's wrestle-offs. So it can be psychologically draining because you feel like you have to give it 100% every single day, day in, day out. The same people that you are training with are your competition. And I think a lot of the psychological drain is that we weigh too much on the outcome and what we think that's going to mean for us because we identify so much with the sport. It's hard not to when you put this much work in it, that we feel like we're no good when we lose. Okay. So that is, we're so invested that if we lose, then we feel like a loser. Okay. You're not a loser. Okay. You're putting yourself in situations that most people would avoid. Okay. They would rather not do the work. And so how do you deal with loss in competition? You've trained really hard. You sacrifice palatable foods, maybe fluid, probably fluid, and you didn't win. It didn't work out in your favor. And the hardest thing is that you know that it's a fair fight because you both weighed in at the same weight. Okay. It's why there's weight classes. And so how do you deal with it? You don't stop. Okay. You collect yourself and you analyze the situation and you figure out what went wrong. And one way that you can do this, okay, is to have your matches recorded. So nowadays, that's really, really easy. Back in the 90s, when I was wrestling, my father recorded all my high school matches. And he recorded my matches in the off season. I think he probably even recorded matches. I started wrestling when I was 11 and I've been wrestling for 31 years now. So obviously he doesn't record any of the stuff that I do now, but he probably recorded stuff from when I was about 12 until I was, 18, 19 years old. And I didn't like watching my matches all the time, even though I won most of the time. I had a very good winning record, but I was so hard on myself. And I cared so much about what others thought of me that while I was watching those matches, it's like I was trying to imagine what other people were thinking. Okay. And this is the perception piece of most of the time. That's not true. Most of the time, now that I'm older, as an adult, you see your kids doing stuff, they're taking it all seriously and you're just watching it and enjoying it. And you put yourself in there for them because you want to, you identify with what they're doing, but you don't think the way that you think they think. Does that make sense? So Um, at that time in my life, it was the most important thing to me. And so what I didn't know was how much wrestling was going to prepare me for other things in life, because life comes with a lot of challenges. Okay. And wrestling prepares you for it more than anything, because there's nobody out there to save you. And there's nobody, practicing for you and going day in, day out and sacrificing a lot of things. You're hungry, you're thirsty, you're tired, you're beat up, and you're never 100% when you step out on mat in competition. And all those sort of excuses are there. Notice how when people win, they very rarely have excuses. When they lose, they have all the excuses, and it's because they're trying to protect their own identity. They're trying to protect their ego. And we put so much weight on the outcome that it hurts to lose, because we think it's an effect on us. Like, I'm the loser. Like, you're not. Okay. All it is a measurement of what you need to improve on. Okay. And so it's okay that you feel disappointed in the outcome, but not because of the way that you think other people's feel about you. Okay. It's not about them. They aren't you. They aren't the ones doing it. It's about you. It's about your journey. You're going to be stronger for the loss, because you'll figure out what you need to do, what you need to work on. And with continued effort, you'll solve these problems. Okay. But it's not that you shouldn't take things seriously, because you should, but it's the weight that you put on it. It's competition. It's not whether or not there's food on the table. Okay. There's bigger things to worry about. And I know it's because I have a different perspective now, because I'm old. Okay. But if you can keep in mind that the loss, okay, or any outcome, even if you win, but you didn't like the way that it went, it's okay. It's just a metric. It's just a measure for showing where you're at. And all of us have things that we can improve on all the time. And so I think if we can identify with it just where it is, we don't have to like it, but we can accept it, then a lot more can come out of it. So I hope that you can take something from this. If you have any comments, you want to let me know how you feel about it, just put it in the comment section. I'd be happy to hear from you. Thank you.